Hello, welcome to episode 40 in the Datapack tutorial series for version 1.21. We're doing villager dialogue again. I've updated it, and this is going to be a part 1. All we're going to do in this one, we're going to get our villagers set up, and we're going to get them so they will cycle through some chat. There we go, cycling through his chat, and Juhulu's going to... Oh, no, he's already gone through his chat. Juhulu's had enough. Okay, let's do a reset. See what the problem is with Julahu. Do you want to talk, Julahu? You don't? Okay. Okay, let's go and have a quick look at what we've done. And we're only going to look at the storage data set up here, because we're going to go into it all obviously in a minute as we build it. So he's saying, hello, my name is Bob. He says, how are you? And then he loops back to entry 0. Hello, my name is Bob. And then we have Noodle, says, do you like potatoes? And then he loops back to 0. And goes through those 3. And we can see why Julahu just was shouting his name, because he has a loop on that line. So he's just shouting, I'm Julahu, I'm Julahu, I'm Julahu. Good for him. So we have messages, and since Mojang has components, I'm calling these little things components as well. And we set up a loop component. In part 1, we're going to get to this point here, where we can display messages and just loop through them. What we're going to do in part 2 is add a whole extra bunch of little components that we can add to our messages for extra effects and things like that. I'll go into that at the end of the video as well. It's going to be a longish one anyway. The reason why I've restarted rather than continued from the last one is because I've made enough changes that it would have just been confusing. So I think we'll just crack on, start from fresh, split it into 2 parts and see how we do. Anyway, I've waffled enough. If you haven't already skipped ahead, well done. Let's get on and build it now. Okay, I think the first thing we'll do is we'll start in VS Code and we'll set up our files and folders. I'm going to need an advancement, so in my namespace, I will create a new folder, advancement, and in there I'm going to create a new file, and it'll be called NPC chat. And it's going to be unhappy because we haven't put anything in there. But we'll leave that for now. It's not a problem. Right, inside function, I'm going to create some folders to keep everything a little bit organized. Obviously, everyone's going to organize their folders and files differently. You do it how you like. I'm going to put everything inside NPC. So everything's going inside there. And inside there, I'm going to have another folder because I'm going to have some admin commands. And inside NPC, I'm going to have another folder because I'm going to have some dialogue commands or dialogue functions. And inside admin, I'm also going to create a new folder called summon, because in the example we're only going to have 3 NPCs, but maybe you've got 50, so I'm going to keep them separated out as well. And I think that might do. No, in fact, inside dialogue, because we're going to have extra stuff in dialogue, so I am going to create a new folder. And I'm going to do controllers, because later on we'll be adding a few more things in there. Okay, I think the first thing we'll do is we'll do this advancement, just so we get rid of this error. And I'm going to have my NPCs, they're going to be tagged with tag ID NPC. So let's pop over to... Well, actually, let's do files first, I suppose. Let's put some files in. So summon. Let's have Bob. We're going to have 3 NPCs in total in this example, but I'm just going to copy and paste Bob because we're not going to do very many changes. So I'm just going to do Bob for now. So that's summon done. And inside admin, I'll have a new file. I want to reset my NPC progress. And inside admin, I want to storage data reset. And I'm going to copy and paste that one and rename it to storage data setup. Okay, that's good there. Then let's do some dialogue controllers. New file, dialogue display. Okay, that'll display the dialogue. We'll have dialog initialize. We'll have NPC interact. That one is going to be called by our advancement. And we'll have NPC interact macro. Done. Okay, so I think we've done all our files and folders. Now let's pop over to Misode and we'll make our advancement. So here are in Misode. Oh, sorry, I think I'm going to have a quick drink of water. Right, I want to check if the player interacts with an entity. We need to give it a criteria name. I'm going to call it NPC chat. Let's put that in there. And the trigger will be player interacted with entity. And we'll have some conditions. The conditions, the entity. Let's put a list. Add that. We want condition will be entity properties. Entity properties. The entity will be this. And we're going to do a predicate check. I want to check the type of entity. I do want it to be, all my NPCs are going to be villagers. And I want to check some NBT as well. I want to check for that ID NPC tag we're going to give them. So we'll say tags ID NPC. Okay, that looks all right. And I also want to give a reward, which is going to be a function. But this is easier to type in VS Code. So here I'm just going to put placeholder. We seem to have a requirement pop out there. I don't need that requirement, but this will do. I'm going to copy this. Copy. Take it over to VS Code. Go to my NPC chat advancement. Paste that in. And I'm just going to remove that requirement myself. Remove. Our tags look okay. Let's choose a function to run. ID, see, it auto-fills for you. So that's why that's handy. And we're going to do NPC interact. I'm going to save that. You can shut down all the windows. So we've done our advancement. Our advancement is done. Let's set up some scores. It looks like I've already set them up. Okay, well, looks like I forgot to delete that from when I was practicing. So here are our scores. We have NPC Progress Bob, NPC Progress Noodle, and NPC Progress Julahu. Those are going to be our three entities. So let's set them up now. So this is going to store my chat progress with each of them. So let's go to Bob. Bob, summon villager at those coordinates. Open and close your curlies. For testing purposes, silent true, please, Bob. I don't want you making that noise all the time. We'll give you a custom name. Custom name. Well, you're going to be called Bob. I don't want you running around and doing anything naughty, so you're not going to have any AI. No AI true. I'm going to give you some tags. 1, 2 tags. We need the tag we're searching for in our advancement, so ID NPC. And you'll have a tag, Bob. And we better give you some villager data. Villager data. And I'm going to make you, we're not trading with them or anything, so just set them up. Level profession. I would like you to be a librarian. You can pick whatever one you want. Type. I would like you to be from the plains. Obviously, you can pick whichever one you want. Okay, and you're going to have a passenger. Passengers. It's going to be a list, and in there we're going to have one passenger. Passenger will have an ID of Minecraft marker. I'm picking a marker on there because I want to be able to store any custom data I like. I'm going to give it some tags first, though. Tags. 1 ID NPC data. And then I'm going to give it some data. And in data, I'm going to give it a name, and the name will be Bob. Now, I could get the name from custom name, but that's got a capital B, and I need a small b. And I might want to store other data relating to the NPC on there later, so I'm setting it up now. So let's save that, and then I'm going to copy Bob. I'm going to copy, paste him once, paste him twice, and now we'll set up those other two NPCs. So we had a Bob, I think we had a Noodle. So all we have to do for Noodle is change all the Bobs to Noodles. That's a Noodle, and we'll change his tag. That's a Noodle, and we'll change his name with a capital letter Noodle. Save Noodle, and let's go to the last one, who's for some reason I gave a very stupid name to, Julahu. I'm going to forget that. And we'll do the same again, change all the little Julahu. What sort of a name is Julahu? I'm sorry if it is your name in real life. Probably not. Julahu. Okay, so they're all exactly the same. Done, done, done. We can summon them. We can track our progress because we've got scoreboards for them. Okay, let's go and summon them first. We might as well test that that is working. Whoop, let's do a reload. This button here is just running the reload command. Okay, let's summon a Bob. Function. Summon Bob. Right, and he's got his name Bob. Okay, let's summon a Noodle. There's Noodle. Forgotten your name already. Begins with J. Julahu. There we go. Let's summon Julahu. Okay, Noodle, Julahu, Bob. Cool. Okay. Let's go back. Nothing to test at the moment. So, if we interact with a villager with the tag ID NPC, we will run NPC interact. Okay. NPC interact. In here, the first thing I'm going to do is revoke that advancement so we can keep interacting with them. NPC chat, and I'm just going to say hi, save. I think that might be enough. Let's go back. Now, it's possible while testing I've still got that advancement, so I might not be able to do it. Let's have a look. No, I'm alright. So Bob says hi. Nice. Noodle says hi. Well, it's me saying hi. And Julahu says hi. That's all fine. We know we're getting into this function all right. Okay. Let's make the reset NPC progress. This is just so we can reset the progress, funnily enough. With one command I can reset for all three. So scoreboard, players, reset at S. Progress Bob, please. Home copy. Go to the end, paste that twice more. And we'll reset Noodles. And we'll reset. This is going to be the problem, isn't it? Julahu. There we go. Can I get that name wrong? Right, we can reset the progress. Let's actually put a command block down that does that. We won't do a restart. Doesn't matter because we're not going to be using this at the moment. We're just going to set it up. And that was resetting the progress as S, at S. So if I just do function and reset NPC progress, that's going to reset the progress for the command block, which isn't helpful. I'll have to do execute as, and I'll just say nearest player, run. Okay, now at S is me, because it's running as me. Done. Let's go back. I think we will do, let's set up the storage data. This is going to contain all the messages they say. Storage data setup. Okay, I think the first thing actually I will do in here is function reset the storage data. And then let's add some stuff. We'll do data modify storage. We'll call it IDYT, and we're on episode 40. Dialogue. Bob. Append to Bob a value. The value will be, well, it'll have a message, and the message will be contained in there. Now I'm just going to copy that. Copy. I'll put another one down for Bob. I'll put one down for Noodle. One down for Julahu. Noodle. And we'll have one here as well for Jula. Stupid name. Jula. It's not a name. It's not a stupid name if it's your name. I'm terribly sorry. Let's give you 3, and we'll do 3 for Jula as well. Okay, Bob. What are you going to say? You're going to say, "Hello, my name is Bob. How are you?" Okay, Noodle. "Hello, my name is Noodle. Do you like potatoes? Please, can you give me a potato?" Julahu, a bit more forthright. He's just going to say, "I am Julahu." He's going to ask me if I'm busy. "Are you busy? Would you like a quest?" Okay, save that. So inside storage, we're saving some stuff inside Bob. We're saving some stuff inside Noodle. We're saving some stuff inside Julahu. So let's go to the reset and set up the reset. So in our reset, well, we want to remove all of those. So data remove from storage dialog Bob. Home, copy, end, paste, and I'll remove Noodle. Don't capitalize that. And I will remove Julahu. Now later on, there are going to be some other things we're going to add as well, and I'm going to reset them now. So those are the NPCs. Let's separate these ones out. We're going to have 3 more things. We're going to save an NPC name. We're going to save that into storage. So we'll reset that later. We're going to set the player's progress. So I'll reset that as well. And I'm also going to store a message. And I'll call that buffer message. Okay, let's save that. And I'll close down all the windows. Right. So we've set up our data. First thing we do is remove the data that's already there. So we've got fresh, and then we add this. Nice. Okay. Let's go over to Minecraft. And I'll just, which way are you facing? You are facing the right way, aren't you? Chain, always active. We will do function storage data setup, because setup is calling the reset, so we don't have to. Done. Okay. Right. Back we go. Now, we want to be able to do something with that data. So let's go on to NPC Interact. And here we are, first of all, as I said before, we are revoking the advancement. So we can keep doing stuff. Now, what I want to do is check if the player is, let's write some stuff down. Is player close enough? Store NPC name. And run NPC select. Oh dear. Oh, stop it. There we go. Is the player close enough? Execute unless there is an entity, any type. Well, now we'll specify a type. Type equals villager. Tag equals ID. NPC. Distance equals less than 3. If there isn't a villager with that tag in that range, then we will run, return, run. We will leave the function, but before we leave, we'll send them a message. Tell raw at S. We'll just do a simple little tell raw. Text. I should move closer. Now, if there is an NPC there, let's grab its name and store it. Data, modify, storage, dialog, NPC. Remember, that's one of the ones we were resetting. Set from entity. I think we'll just copy this bit here. Boink. Copy that bit. At E. We'll need a limit on it though. Limit equals 1. And from there, we're going to get their passengers. And from that passenger, which is the passenger number 0. And from that passenger, we're going to get the data we put in. And from that data, we're going to grab the name. So into our storage, we are saving the name. So let's have a look at our summon command. Bob. Data name Bob. So we're going to store Bob with a little b, and we're going to store that into NPC, and we can use that later. Now let's do run NPC select. So we'll do function, and we will NPC interact macro with storage dialog. And we're going to send the dialog there because inside the dialog we have the NPC, and that's what we want to grab. Okay, let's go off to the NPC interact macro. First of all, we'll do it without the macro. I want to store the player's progress. How far through the conversation is the player with this NPC? So first we'll do it just for Bob. Execute, store, result, into storage as the player progress, and remember that was one of the others we were resetting, as an integer, multiply it by 1, run scoreboard players get at s NPC progress Bob. Okay, that's good. If we were only ever going to talk to Bob, this would work. But we remember we could be talking to anyone, but we did save their name into NPC, into our storage, and we called macro function with storage. So let's go over here, and instead of using Bob, we will use NPC. So that's going to be NPC Bob, NPC Noodle, NPC Julu. But first, we're going to have to say this command is using, get on there, is using data in storage. There we go. So that should keep that happy. What do we want to do next? Let's have a look. So get player progress. Get player progress with current NPC. We've done that, so let's initialize a dialog. Init the dialog. We will function dialog init with storage dialog. Okay, so now dialog init is going to have everything, access to everything in dialog. Let's go to dialog init. What are we going to do in here? First of all, we want to pull out the correct message. So get the current NPC's current message. Then we will display the message. Display message. Then we will increase the NPC progress. And then we'll just do that for now. We'll come back later for the rest. Right, get the current NPC's current message. Okay, so let's again just do it for Bob. We'll do a data modify storage dialog, and I believe we called this one buffer message in the reset. And we will set from storage our storage, and we'll do it for Bob first. Bob. The players. Oh, we need player progress, so that would be my score. So we'll put a 0 there. That's his first message, and we want to grab message. So Bob 0 message. Let's have a look at where we're setting up the data. So this is the first one. This is going to be Bob 0. So we look at Bob 0. We look at message. We get hello, my name is Bob. If we look at Bob 1, we get how are you? Okay, let's go back. So that's only going to work for Bob. Again, that's all right because we've stored the NPC's name into NPC, and we stored the current player's progress into player progress. And then we've got the problem. We need to tell him you are using data from storage. Now we need to display the message. So we'll execute this as the villager, as any entity whose type equals villager whose tag equals ID NPC whose distance equals less than 3. At that villager we will run function dialog display with storage dialog. And we want to run it with the storage because we want to be able to access this buffer message that we've just saved into storage. And then we need to increase the NPC progress. So we would do scoreboard. Well, we would try to do scoreboard players add at S. Let's say Bob add 1. Well, it's not just Bob. It could be any NPC. So let's do the old macro thing again. NPC. Pop the little $sign on the beginning. Save that. Okay. Now let's display the message. Right. What do we want to do? We're going to want to tell raw. I think what I'll do, I'll tell you what, I might copy and paste this. Let me copy and paste, and let me just move that up there. Okay, so what's happening? We're giving a tell raw for any player within a distance of 3, and then we've got a little bit of text, which is going to do a green one of them. And then we've got a little bit of text here saying it's at S. Custom name. So we're getting from the entity. The entity is the villager because we're executing as the villager. We're going to get its custom name. So let's do Bob as an example. Bob. Then we are doing a close square bracket. We're doing a close square bracket. And then we're doing the message. So if it was 0, it would be hello, my name is Bob. So our message would look like that, apart from the colours would be different. But here, you notice, we are using buffer message from storage, so we better tell this command, you are using stuff from storage. Save. Now, fingers crossed, if we go back, and we do a reload, and we'll reset the progress, and we'll reset all the data. Bob, well, let's start far away. I should move closer. Cool, that works. Hello, my name is Bob. How are you? 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 Okay, that's expected. Next one. Hello, my name is Noodle. Do you like potatoes? Please, can you give me a potato? Off we go. Yeah. And Julahu? I'm Julahu. You busy? Would you like it? Okay, that's expected. Now we can see what's happening. If I do a reset, and if I do scoreboard, objectives, set display, sidebar, NPC progress, Bob. All right, I'm going to talk to Bob, and I've got no progress. Now I've got 1 now. We've got hello, my name is Bob. Now I've got 2. Now I've got 3. Now I've got 4. Now I've got 5. There's the problem. We're not resetting our progress. Okay, let's fix that so we can get to a sort of a basic loop. Right. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to, let's shut down the windows we've got open. I'm going to go to storage data setup, and I am going to add what I've decided to call components because Mojang is using components, so I'm saying that these are components. And I'm going to add some components to the messages. In this part 1, we're only going to add 1 component. In part 2, we're going to add a whole load more components that can do other stuff. But that's probably going to be a long video, which is why I've split the 2 up. Anyway, let's add a looping component. So I'm going to say, right, Bob, if you say, how are you? I then want you to loop back. So next time I talk to you, I want you to say, hello, my name is Bob again. So here I'm going to call it loop, and I'm going to say, go to index 0. Remember, we start counting at 0, so 0, 1. And then Noodle, 0, 1, 2. So, Bob, if you say your last message, loop back to your first message, and I'm going to grab that, copy, and we'll put it onto Noodle's last message, and we'll put it onto Julahu's last message as well. There we go. That seems all right. Obviously, we're going to have to do something with that. And I think probably the best place to do something with that would be, where are we, dialogue init. So we're coming in here, we're getting the current message, we're saving it. We're displaying the message we just saved. We're adding one to the progress. And now let's check here. We'll call it a loop component. Check for loop component. Right. What do we want to do? I think we want to leave. Let's exit if there isn't a component. So we'll pretend we're doing Bob's first message, and then we'll turn it into a macro. So we'll execute unless data storage, my storage, Bob message 0 dot loop run return fail. Okay. So if there isn't a dot loop, and let's have a look at the storage data setup. So this doesn't have a dot loop. There's no loop component on this one. So we will just exit. We'll say, well, we've displayed the message. We've done everything we need to. We'll end now. Okay. Now let's make this work for any NPC so we can see what we've done up here. Here we go. We've got NPC and player progress. We'll copy that and we'll do a swap out there. Cool. It's like, I'm not happy. I don't know what these dollar signs are. Yeah, I haven't told you that you are using data from storage. Sorry. There we go. However, if there is a loop component, we will still be going through the function. So let's do something down here. We will execute store result as a score for the player. We will execute learn how to spell. Execute store result. We'll do it for Bob again. Bob, run data get from storage dialog Bob message 0 dot loop. So in this one, save that a second, I'm going to store into my Bob progress score the result from Bob 0 loop. Well, let's change that 0 to a 1. Okay, and let's go and have a look what we would find. So we would go to Bob 1, we would find he does have a loop, and we would store 0, and that would set my progress with Bob back to the first line, back to 0. Okay, now let's make this work for all NPCs. So we've got a Bob there. We'll have to swap that for our NPC bit. And then we need the current NPC and my current progress. So we'll use this bit here again, NPC player progress. And we'll have to do the old tell the command he is using stored data. We'll save. We'll go back. We'll do this. Now, if I talk to Bob now, I expect the same results before because my NPC progress is on 24. We've gone far too high. So we'll do a reset. Now, Bob, are you going to be good? My name is Bob. How are you? My name is Bob. How are you? My name is Bob. How are you? Okay, you're good. What about Noodle? My name's Noodle. Do you like potatoes? Can you give me one? My name's Noodle. Do you like potatoes? Yeah. And Julahu? You don't not leave. I haven't forgotten you, Julahu. Okay, so they're all rotating through their messages. Now, obviously, you could see it would be pretty easy to go to setup. And what we could do is we could copy that loop and we could just put it on Julahu's first line. And we'll save that. So now Julahu is just going to be, well, he's going to be our special friend in the corner. And all he does is just, well, let's reset. Oh, we don't have to now. There we go. Let's reset our progress. And update our storage data. Julahu is just going to shout at me that he is Julahu. I have Julahu. Well done. Well done, Julahu. Okay, so we've made a very simple little loop function component. Now, we don't have much functionality. So what are we going to be doing? That's part one. Part 2 video is going to be longer than this one. It would have been too long, which is why I've split them up. If you don't want to listen to me waffle, you can just finish right now, in which case, thank you very much for watching. But in part 2, we're going to set up running a command. We're going to set up making it so they can hold an item. We're going to set up making them flash a particle above their head, making them play a sound, making them be able to set, like here we've got the loop and that sets its own progress back to 0. What if we want to say, well, if you talk to Bob, then it resets Noodle's progress, so we'll set that up. And we'll also, we noticed that Julahu says, would you like a quest? So we're also going to be doing a component that will display some options like a yes, no, maybe, and it will display that in chat, and then the player will be able to click on one and they'll be able to sort of engage with the NPC, and maybe you say no and he goes, oh, that's a shame, and when you talk to him again he says, are you busy, would you like to do a quest? And he'll keep saying that until you say yes, and then he goes, oh great, and you'll move on. So we're going to set up a few more components next time. The reason I redid this again, although a lot of it is similar, is because we've made a few differences. If, for instance, here we're using a macro to decide which NPC we're talking to instead of a big, so like, if NPC is Bob, then run this. If NPC is Julahu, then run this. I wanted to remove that. Anyway, that's waffling, isn't it? I've gone on waffling. So we have them set up. They're looping. They're fine. They're happy. You know what they're doing. You've just seen it. So I'll end it there. And in the next video, what we'll do is we'll set up a load of extra components so we've got a lot more control and, make them actually useful. Okay, see you next time. Bye-bye. Take care.